Have you ever promised yourself that tomorrow would be different, only to wake up and repeat the exact same mistakes? You tell yourself you'll start exercising, you'll stop procrastinating, you'll finally work on that dream you've been thinking about for years. But somehow, you don't. At first, it feels like a lack of discipline. Then it feels like laziness. Eventually, it starts feeling like you're fighting against yourself. And that's because you are. The most dangerous enemy you'll ever face isn't outside you. It isn't your boss, your competition, or bad luck. It's a 3-pound organ inside your head that has one job above everything else: to keep you alive. Not successful, not wealthy, not confident, just alive. And once you understand why your brain works this way, you'll stop blaming yourself and start using your mind instead of fighting against it. Imagine two people standing at the edge of a forest thousands of years ago. One decides to explore. The other decides to stay close to the tribe. Who was more likely to survive? The cautious one. For most of human history, curiosity could get you killed. A strange sound in the bushes wasn't an opportunity. It was probably a predator. Trying new food wasn't exciting. It could be poisonous. Leaving your group wasn't freedom. It could mean death. Your ancestors survived because their brains constantly looked for danger. And the descendants of those cautious people are you. Here's the strange part. Your brain still uses the same ancient software. The world changed. Your brain didn't. Today, asking someone out won't kill you. Starting a business won't attract wild animals. Speaking in front of a crowd isn't life-threatening, but your brain reacts as if it is. That's why your heart races before a presentation. That's why your stomach twists before making a big decision. Your brain isn't trying to ruin your future. It's trying to protect your past. Now think about the last time you wanted to change your life. Maybe you wanted to wake up earlier, eat healthier, start a YouTube channel, learn a new skill. What happened after a few days? Your motivation disappeared. Most people think motivation is supposed to stay forever. It isn't. Your brain hates change because change creates uncertainty, and uncertainty feels dangerous. Imagine living in the same house for 10 years. You can walk from your bedroom to the kitchen in complete darkness. Now imagine someone rearranges all the furniture overnight. Suddenly, every step requires attention. That's exactly how your brain experiences new habits. Old habits are automatic. New habits require energy, and your brain is obsessed with saving energy. Scientists call this efficiency. Your brain calls it survival. Every shortcut, every routine, every repeated behavior saves precious mental resources. That's why scrolling social media is easier than reading a book. Watching videos is easier than creating one. Complaining is easier than improving. Your brain always chooses the familiar road, even when that road leads nowhere. Here's a question. Have you ever noticed that your biggest goals often create your biggest excuses? That's not an accident. The bigger the reward, the bigger the perceived risk. Think about someone who dreams of starting a company. They spend months researching, watching interviews, buying courses, planning everything, but never launching. From the outside, it looks like preparation. In reality, it's fear wearing the mask of productivity, because if you never start, you never fail. And if you never fail, your brain believes you've stayed safe. This is one of the smartest tricks your mind ever learned. It convinces you that avoiding discomfort is the same as avoiding danger. But they're not the same thing. Growth is uncomfortable. Danger isn't always present. Your brain simply struggles to tell the difference. Now here's another trap almost everyone falls into: negative thoughts. Have you ever wondered why one criticism can ruin your entire day, while 10 compliments disappear in minutes? Because your brain has a negativity bias. Thousands of years ago, forgetting one dangerous experience could be fatal. Remembering positive experiences wasn't nearly as important, so your brain became incredibly good at spotting problems. Today, that same system makes you replay embarrassing moments from years ago. It reminds you of failures more than victories. It whispers, "What if you fail again? What if people laugh? What if you're not good enough?" The scary part, those thoughts feel like facts, but they aren't. They're predictions, and predictions are often wrong. Imagine watching a weather forecast that predicts rain every single day. Eventually, you'd stop trusting it. Yet many people believe every prediction their brain makes without question. Here's something fascinating. Your brain isn't designed to tell you the truth. It's designed to keep you cautious. Those are two completely different jobs. Now let's talk about something even more powerful. Identity. Suppose someone has always believed, I'm bad with money, I'm shy, I'm not creative. Every future decision gets filtered through that identity. If an opportunity appears, the brain asks one question. Does this match who I believe I am? If the answer is no, resistance appears immediately, not because change is impossible, because consistency feels safe. Your brain would rather keep a painful identity than risk an unfamiliar one. That's why changing beliefs is harder than changing habits. But here's the breakthrough. Your identity isn't fixed. It's a story, and stories can be rewritten. Think about learning to ride a bicycle. The first time, you probably felt awkward. You fell. You lost balance. Maybe you wanted to quit, but after enough repetition, balancing became automatic. Your brain physically changed. This ability is called neuroplasticity. Every repeated action strengthens certain neural pathways. Every repeated thought strengthens them too. In other words, the person you become tomorrow depends on what you repeatedly do today, not occasionally, repeatedly. So how do you beat a brain that wants to keep you comfortable? Not by fighting it, by understanding it. Stop trying to make giant changes overnight. Your brain sees huge changes as threats. Instead, make change so small it feels almost ridiculous. Read one page, do one push-up, write one sentence, walk for 5 minutes. Small wins create proof. Proof creates confidence. Confidence creates identity, and identity changes behavior. Another strategy is to expect resistance. Don't wait until you feel motivated. Motivation follows action far more often than action follows motivation. Professional athletes don't train because they always feel inspired. Writers don't write because every day feels magical. Successful people build systems that work even when emotions don't. Finally, question every fearful thought. Instead of asking, what if I fail? Ask, what if my brain is simply trying to keep me comfortable? That single question creates distance between you and your fear. And in that tiny space, freedom begins. One day, you'll look back and realize something surprising. The biggest obstacle in your life was never your intelligence, never your talent, never your circumstances. It was believing every warning your brain gave you. Your mind was never your enemy. It was an overprotective guardian using ancient rules in a modern world. The moment you stop treating fear as a stop sign and start seeing it as evidence that you're stepping beyond your comfort zone, everything begins to change. Because the life you've been dreaming about isn't waiting on the other side of confidence. It's waiting on the other side of the fears your brain keeps telling you to avoid. And maybe the next time your mind whispers, "Stay where it's safe," you'll finally smile, thank it for trying to protect you, and take the next step anyway.